Guys, and welcome to Nosy Bystanders Live. I am your host, Chief Nosy Bystander. One word. I know I'm a little bit late. I was finishing up the Diamond Show. If you guys didn't know, we have a television network called Nosy Bystanders TV. And so I produce a TV show or a talk show called The Diamond Show. And today they were talking about boy moms. So you should definitely check that episode out. It's going to be really good. Um, it was a really interesting conversation. It was quite explosive. So yeah, if you want to hear the perspective of adults discussing the detriment of having boy moms in your life and how that affects your upcoming relationships, definitely check it out. But today we're going to be discussing two stories. The first story is about Devonna Walker, who was fatally abbed by her neighbors, and her neighbors were let go. There was no bond, and the prosecutors let them go. The second story we're gonna talk about, honey, is love after lockup, because that's where the real tea at. Because, honey, child, you guys know tomorrow we have the live stream for the free viewing of Love After Lockup, and we're gonna be giving commentary and pausing it, honey. We're gonna be getting all the tea. And Monique and Derek said after the show airs, they're going to be going live on Instagram. So it's going to be a long live stream tomorrow, you guys. Please register for it. Go to nosybystandards.uscreen.io. Register for the event. I'm going to put a link to the event in the into the chat so you guys can register. Oh my gosh, it's going to be so good, y'all. It's going to be so good. It's going to be so juicy. I can't wait for the live stream, honey, because it's going to be so ghetto. So let me post a link of it in the chat, okay? And here on Facebook, you'll see it below, and on YouTube, you'll see it as well. But I want to get into these stories. But first, let's see who's all up in the building, because I know y'all been waiting a while. Thank you very much. Hello, Brenna. Hello, Amber. Hello, Cami on the go. Hello, Stephanie. Hello, Sheree. Hello, Juliet. Hello, Nikki. Hello, Chocolate Bay. Hello, Janine. Hello, Brown Delight. What's up? Lisa Frost says, ciao. How y'all doing? Hello, Soothing Zen Sounds. Hello, April. Hello, AC. Hello, Half Crazy. Hello, Courtney. What's up, Jocelyn? This is from 10R79 or 1079. There's a radio station in Cleveland called Z1079. So every time I see your name, it cracks me up. Hello, how are you today? Hello, Bashful. Hello, Greer. Hello, Night Tynesha. This is from Kosaka. Cam says, is it about to start, y'all? This month needs to go to jail. It's about to start. Okay. Because I want to go over the details, because it's not just the person who did the abbing. It's also that friend. And we're going to talk about that friend too, honey, because I don't care what nobody say. I'm side eyeing that friend. I'm side eyeing the friend. Give me 1 second, you guys. Hold on. Let me fix my mic. I'm side-eyeing that friend, okay? Hello, Shirley. What's up, Shirley? That name cracks me up every time. Hello, is it Delmar? I hope I'm saying your name right. Hello, Michael. How you doing today? This is me. Hello. Hello, Mia. Hello, something in Russian says, hello, nosy cousin. What is your name? Hello, Sandy. This is Facebook, because you know they be late, but I was late today. Hello, Bunny. How you doing today? Hello, Cash. Hello, Deb. This from Mia. Mia says that friend ain't a real friend at all. Nope. What's up? Is it S Renee? What's up, Renee? How you doing today? So I want to get to the first story, and let me share my screen. Give me 1 second. We're gonna watch the quick news clip here. Because if you don't know what the story is about, I want to just like share the news clip, because it's important to watch the story before we can even discuss. Does that make sense to you guys? It makes sense? Okay, good. Let me pause. Let me mute myself so we can begin, okay?
Tobacco Credit Union protects your well-being. So
About 24 protesters stood outside the Cedar Rapids Police Department calling for answers into the stabbing death of Devonna Walker. It happened more than a week ago at Cambridge Townhomes in Northeast Cedar Rapids. Police and the county prosecutor issued a statement today saying they had interviewed witnesses and a suspect, but it went on to warn that investigations can sometimes take months.
And then new video out tonight might explain the prosecutor's hesitation in filing a murder charge. Tonight, KCRG TV9 received that video recording of what happened starting at 6:38 in the evening of January 2nd. And we do want to warn you, these images are graphic and we are only going to show portions of it due to that. Now, family members say they received the nearly 15-minute long video from a neighbor at the apartment complex. Devonna Walker is the woman you see there in the red. Now, it starts about 3 minutes before the stabbing, with Walker and at least 2 other people shouting at each other. At one point, someone shouts a racial slur, the N-word. Seconds later, as a woman looks to be walking away, you see Walker charge, and a scuffle ensues. In that melee is when it appears Walker is stabbed. The video later shows Walker collapsing just seconds later. And about 6.5 minutes then pass before police arrive, and then first responders who start administering CPR.
Again, protesters stood across the street from the Cedar Rapids Police Department tonight, demanding an arrest of the person who stabbed Devonna Walker. Angelina Ramirez, the vice president of Advocates for Social Justice, said she believes investigators have not been transparent.
The racialized language that the man who murdered Devonna used. We think that this case needs immediate attention and that an arrest should be made. It's not up to the police to create a defense for the killer. It's up to his defense team.
No. Jermaine Cooper, the organizer behind Parents Against Violence Everywhere, said he also knew Devonna. He rejects allegations the stabbing was in self-defense and says he believes this case is bigger than Devonna, saying it's also about how police respond to accusations of racist acts.
I feel my life like it's not like right now it's bigger, like it's for Devonna, but it's bigger than Devonna. It's as a community, it's as a race now, because we don't know what's next.
And tonight, we also talked with Devonna Walker's mother. KCRG TV9's Molly Swain joins us with more on her reaction to the case. And Molly, has she seen the video that we just saw?
LaShawn Bowles says she has seen the video and maintains that the person who stabbed her daughter was not justified. And she agrees with tonight's protesters that police have not done enough in this case.
This is a racist murderer.
LaShawn Bowles, Devonna Walker's mother, calls her daughter's death a murder, even knowing what happens in the video, showing her daughter charges someone who had their back to her when she was stabbed.
I seen it. I didn't hear it. I let my sister and family tell me what's on it, because I don't want to see my baby laying on the ground like that.
Bowles said this wasn't the first time her daughter had been the target of racial hatred at her apartment. She said last month, on December 21st, she was with her daughter at Cambridge Townhomes when there was a dispute involving her daughter and the same neighbors.
I was out there with her one situation, and I actually called the police because he had these dogs attack us. He came out calling us and having the dog attack us.
She said she wants the man who stabbed her daughter charged and convicted.
I want justice for my baby because she did not deserve this.
In a statement today, the Cedar Rapids Police Department and the Lynn County Prosecutor's Office said the investigation is ongoing, but added, this is the process undertaken when it comes to a homicide investigation, and we ask for patience as we continue this investigation. It goes on to say they are aware of a growing level of inaccurate information coursing through social media and other channels. This kind of speculative commentary is potentially hurtful to the family and our community. They add anyone with information should contact police. Reporting live in the studio, Molly Swain, KCRG TV9 News.
Now that's interesting because the mom said that they had a previous altercation before. So maybe these were just like those type of neighbors where she was just tussling with them constantly. You know what I mean? Like neighbors that she just is constantly fighting with all the time, specifically about their dogs, maybe around little kids, neighbors being loud, neighbors just being annoying, neighbors just, having, you know how like you got those really annoying neighbors, like when you're having a family get together, you just got those neighbors that just come over and ask you to keep it down, or they start calling the police on you and whatnot. So maybe it was just an ongoing thing. I don't know the nature of the relationship between the two. All I know is that they did have a relationship, the two neighbors, and this is what it led to. Now, the prosecutors did arrest them at the night of the incident, and then they let them go, subsequently let them go. So people are concerned because they're just like, well, why'd you let them go? Granted, there was no indictment, so you can't hold them. You understand what I mean? So it's like, it's not like you can hold them, you know? Do I think that there will be an indictment? Yeah. It just didn't seem like a self-defense thing because he wasn't the one being attacked. Does that make sense? Like, it's only legal eagles chime in. It's only self-defense when you're being attacked. You can't say self-defense and then, you know, and jump in. It's like, then it's not self-defense because he wasn't being attacked. He was in the house. He just leaned out of the window. Now, in the scene, they didn't show you all of those full clips, but in the full video that Facebook took down, thank God, but Facebook played the full clip, and you see her getting attacked, and he in her neck, and then she comes out, she stumbles and falls on the grass. Her friend in the white shirt looks at her and proceeds to walk away. And people are in an uproar about that friend because they're like, why? She didn't even go and just like check on her. She just looked at her and then just walked away. If we didn't learn nothing from this Shanquella Robinson case, I'm gonna tell you right now, don't get into no heated squabbles with no people, with nobody around, because it's clear that ain't nobody gonna help you. It's very clear. Let me get some of y'all comments. You said, this from Renee says, I just need to know what started this incident and exactly how close the neighbors are. So many questions. They're pretty close, right? And then it just could be just they're in the same building. I don't think they're that close in the sense of like they're eating dinner together, but I think that they just were just two neighbors who seemed like they were annoyed by each other constantly. This from King's Galore said, the person in the red charged at the victim. Person in the red should be in jail. Person in red is dead. So they can't go to jail when they're 6 feet under. This is from Nunn, said, this is how I've been feeling for a long time in my black skin. Like, what's next? Exactly. This is from Bo Lady, says she is in the red. She is in the red. Yes. Yes, the red person was unalive. You said, where is the Cedar Rapids, Iowa? This is from King's Galore, says, oh, so it's self-defense if the person in red is expired. It's self-defense if the woman, the white lady, who she stole on, had stabbed her. That's different, right? That's self-defense. Not when a third party is just jumping out of nowhere and out of nowhere. You understand what I mean? A third party just coming out of nowhere. That's not self-defense. It's the name says it all. Self-defense, not other defense, not them offense. Not the white lady on the ground defense. It's self. You can only defend yourself. Okay? So he can't just lunge out of an apartment with a knife and stab someone. He can't do that. That's not self-defense because she wasn't attacking him. Does that make sense to people? Am I making sense to anyone in the room? This from Brother Love says, I don't think they were annoyed by each other. All around the country, you have white people attacking black people just because they live near them. They think it's okay to harass them. That's true. That's true. Until we learn the name. First of all, do we even know who this guy is? I haven't even been able to find his name anywhere on social media. This from Cammie says, he came to the door with a knife. Correct. Now, here's the only thing about Devonna Walker's story. I don't think she should have lunged at that woman. I don't care if he called you an N-word. I don't care what he called you. You know what I mean? I don't care if he called you something about cotton picking. I don't care. You don't lunge at people because you don't like, you know what I mean? Like, are you crazy? You don't know what he had in his, he could have had a gun. I mean, she's dead anyway, right? So it doesn't matter, but it's like, that's just what you don't do. Does that make sense? You don't just lunge at people regardless, because there was enough distance where she could have been like, you know, F these people, I'm going home. There was no reason for her to lunge at that woman at all. Because again, that woman, it was 2-on-1. right? Her friend wasn't going to help. And I don't, maybe she had the bright idea that her friend would jump in, but her friend didn't jump in. You know what I mean? Like, but still, you just don't do that. And I'm not trying to sit here and judge her, but it's just like, that's just something you don't do. This is advice to y'all. Like, if people feel like if you allow people's words to break you, then they already won. And if the prosecutors decide to not fight, that's just another racist person who just throwing around racist epithets all over the streets and getting away with it. And what's it to him when, you know what I mean? And you're the dead one, right? He gets to walk away and you're dead. So what was even the point? So there's just, it's there to me. I feel like for Devonna, even though it's too late to even give her this advice, but don't let people's words anger you to the point where you would lunge at someone. Because here's my thing. Here's my whole take on the N-word. If you call me an N-word with a hard ER, the only reason why I would laugh at that is because I am not that. I'm not an N-word. I might be a ninja, but I'm not a ninja. Okay, you got what I'm saying? So why would I take offense about something that I'm not? Because you're saying that in the sense of I'm dumb, stupid, slow, cognitively delayed, lazy. I'm not any of those things. So why would I take offense to power of a word that you've created? I'm not an N-word. Not with a hard ER. So why would I take offense to that? It's like someone saying, okay, unicorn. Okay, well, I'm not a unicorn. So why would I take offense to somebody calling me a unicorn? It makes zero sense to me. Like, I'd be like, it's weird. It's weird that you say that. You know what I mean? But it doesn't affect me because that's not what I am. So it doesn't bother me. You're saying, I mean, it's like, oh, you think that's what I am? I'm not. So what were you trying to get out of me? Were you trying to get a rise out of me? Because it's not working. So you're going to have to try a little bit harder when it comes to epithets. Do you understand what I mean? So, child, this is from Calypso. Also, Calypso says, so another third party came and unalived the lady in the red. Correct. Is it not attacking, killing? I guess it's the same. He attacked her and he killed her. There's a picture of the accuser online. I have not found that yet. This is from Jess S. Says, if you can't find his name, he's most likely one. That's true. This is from Kosaka. Says, he could have stood in the middle. He could have stood in the middle. He chose to grab a knife and stab, knowing what the result could be. Exactly. Which for her, right, Devonna, there was no reason to run up on him because you don't know what he had in his hands. You can't let anyone make you that angry. Period. It don't matter. It does not matter. It does not matter. I don't care. I don't care if they call you every N-word under the sun in every language. It don't matter. Don't let nobody get you that upset. Because what was the point of that? You know what I mean? Like there was no point to that. This one, Queen Medaley says 4 elements are required for self-defense. Unprovoked attack, which threatens imminent, objectively reasonable force. Degree of force used in reasonable response, fear, or injury of death. I guess he could have said he feared for his partner's life who was on the ground, I guess, but he's a man. He could have easily just picked her up. I don't know. Look, I'm not here to give him a self-defense strategy. All I'm saying is what he did was not right, but what Devonna did was not smart. Does that make sense? What he did was not right, but what Devonna did was not smart. You know what I mean? It wasn't smart at all. It just wasn't. It's not smart to run up on people. It's not, because you'll find out. You'll mess around and you'll find out. That's why it's not good to run up on people. You understand what I mean? This is from Irene. Says, I'm new here and I'm happy I caught this live, especially this one. Thank you, Irene, and welcome. This is from Yvonne. Says, right, that would have been common sense just to leave. Yeah, just leave. And this from Calypso says, Red Shirt should have called the cops again on them, maybe press charges for hate speech. Is that even possible? Yeah, depending on what state you're in. But yes, it is quite possible. It's from Brenna. Says, it could have been that she had enough of the harassment. I understand that they've been harassing the girl continuously. It's disgusting. Yeah, it is. There's probably tons of reasons as to why she did it. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that there's not a reason as to why she did it. I'm saying it's not smart. There are tons of reasons as to why people piss me off on the internet all day, but I'm not going to give them the time of day because it's not smart, right? It doesn't matter. He could have called her every racial epithet under the sun and did it in blackface? Was her actions smart? That's the only question. The short answer is no, because you don't know what he has in his hands. You don't know if there's another person in that house with a gun. You don't know. So is it smart for me to react to his notion? No, it's not smart. It doesn't matter if she's fed up, if she's blue in the face, if she's sick of these people. She could have called her leasing office. She could have moved. She could have moved to a different side of the apartment. It's a humongous apartment complex. Okay. So she could have moved to a different side of the complex. She could have filed enough police reports where she could have forced the leasing agency to get her out of her lease so she could hightail it. There are smart ways to react to stuff like this. Charging someone is not. It's not. It's dumb because it could get you killed. There's no, he just annoys me so much. Oh, every time I come out, I don't care. People are crazy. So don't give them a reason. Does that make sense? Don't give them a reason. Don't give people a reason to show you their craziness. There's no, you can't argue your way out of it. You can't, oh, she was this, or oh, and the dogs, and oh, it doesn't matter. You're not going to be able to, logic me out of this one, Brenna. I apologize, but you just can't. Okay. This from Sean Johnson says, true. Learning when to pick your battles is what the younger generations need to do. Yeah, you do. Pick your battles. You can't win. Listen, you may not win. What is it? You can't win every battle, but you can win the war. Okay. You can. You can't win every battle, but you most certainly can win the war. I promise you, you can. I promise you, you can. But you got to be smart about it. You got to be incredibly smart about it. And you just can't just allow people to just win and get under your skin, and just say what I mean. So, and it cost her life, And so I agree. Thank you, Aaliyah. This from Jade says, he grabbed a knife before she charged, premeditated. I don't care what it is. I'm pretty sure he's going to be charged. I honestly don't care what it is, what he did, whether it was premeditated or self-defense. I'm only speaking on the notion of Devonna. We're going to get to him in a second, but I'm speaking on the notion of Devonna. Stop letting these people control your emotions. Stop doing that. Stop doing that. Stop doing that. This is from Kosaka said the definition of the N-word, meaning ignorance. Ignorance means lack of knowledge or understanding. Exactly. And I'm not any of those things. This is from Groje says, right. Why ain't this a hate crime? It happened January 2nd. That was about 10 days ago. I'm assuming the prosecutor also has that 15-minute video. So I'm curious if they're going to take it to the grand jury. I think the grand jury should indict on this. I do think they should. What are they going to indict on? I'm not a legal expert to figure that out. Unfortunately, I'm not a legal expert, so I have no concept of if they are going to charge on this one. This from Dr. Carissa. What's up, Dr. Carissa? Says self-defense extends to third parties. It's self-defense in the defense of others. Ooh, that's good to know. Here's my thing. Why didn't he just get his wife to come in the house? Now, in the video, you could hear him saying to her, come in the house, come inside, and she's not. Why did he just grab her and take her into the house? That's the part I don't quite get. Why did he just grab her and take her in the house? What was he waiting on? It didn't make sense to me why he was letting his wife or partner, whoever that woman was to him, just stay outside arguing with his neighbors. This is from Tynika. I hope that I'm saying your name right. It says, now, if she wanted to end all of this and was tired of fighting that way, her lunging makes sense in that respect. I'm just saying. Her lunging makes sense in that respect. it makes sense on an emotional level. It doesn't make sense logically, right? Because when you're thinking logically, you're thinking, okay, I could fall and hurt myself. Somebody could run up and shoot me. That guy could have a weapon. I could end up fighting with this woman and lose. I could go to jail. That's thinking logically because you're playing out all the different scenarios on how it could end, right? That's what a logical sense would do. And then the other part you would be thinking is this even worth it? And no, it's not. So she wasn't thinking logically. On an emotional sense, this makes sense, right? If you're just emotional and your actions are tied into your emotions, this totally makes sense. But if you're a logical thinking person, this wouldn't make sense. But a logical thinking person probably wouldn't end up in an argument with someone, you know, because they were like, oh, it's easy to get rid of her. I've called the police a number of times, so the leasing office gets sick of it. I'll just keep harassing the leasing office till they move my unit and let me move to a unit on the other side of the building. I'm going to just keep, that's what logical people do. Logical people devise strategies. Emotional people just do what their emotions tell them to do, right? So logically, does this make sense? No. Emotionally, yeah, if you operate by emotion. If you operate by emotion, it makes total sense. This from Juliet says, she just gave him a reason to do what he been wanting to do. Precisely. This is from Kosaka says, he called her in the house after he stabbed her because he knew he was in the wrong and what he had done. And only he knew, which is crazy, right? Only he knew, which makes it even bad, even if it is self-defense. Him knowing what he did to her and just allowing her to lay there. And his wife the whole time, or partner, whoever that woman is, kept saying, oh, she's faking it. Because I don't think she knew what happened. I don't think the woman who Devonna charged at even knew she was stabbed. I don't think so. Because why did she say that? And then if you watch the 15-minute video, she actually walks up with a towel in her hand that she was giving to the paramedics. So it's like, I don't think she knew what was going on. Or that best friend. Because the best friend is something else too. Because why the best friend just going to let her friend lay on the ground and not go help her? What kind of best friend is that? You know, what kind of best friend is that? A mess. That friend. I want to know who that friend is. I just want to talk to her. I just want to talk to her real quick. You said definitely not his wife. They live together. That's his wife, right? That's how I'm calling it. You said Brenda, it was the husband. This from Cammie says, she didn't know until they turned her over. Yeah, she didn't know. The wife didn't know. She did not know. But I want to talk to that best friend. Because that best friend, how you just going to look at your friend and walk away? Right, Amber? Amber said, at least check. I mean, dang, she didn't even want to check in on her. The story is developing every single day. And I wanted to keep close track of it because I think it's quite interesting to see if the prosecutor's office is going to charge them, if that best friend comes out and talk, because, you know, we want to talk to that best friend. I want to talk to the best friend. Like, girl, why didn't you help her? You saw her fall to the ground. You didn't think to be like, come on, girl, get up. Yeah, something else. But I want to switch gears a little bit. I want to switch gears a little bit because although as heartbreaking as that story is, I wanted to talk about another story and get to what's her name. What's her name? Y'all know her name. I want to get to Monique and Derek. Good Lord, my brain. I'm having a brain fart. I want to get to Monique and Derek. Okay, so Monique and Derek, honey child. If these two just... Oh, they giving us the storyline. They giving us the storyline. They giving us the storyline, honey. They say, you want storyline? Here you go. So Monique had posted this recently on her Instagram page. I'm gonna read it to you. Also, somebody else in the chat asked me about Chef Pinky Cole. We could talk about Chef Pinky Cole if you like, if we have a little bit of time, which I think we will, because this story won't take long. But we can talk about Chef Pinky Cole because, honey, I don't like her. I think she is a terrible person. And the fact that the NAACP nominated her for an Image Award. Black people are down like 10,000% because of that. Black people are down 10,000%. This is why we won't succeed as a people. But let's get into this story before we get into Pinky Cole. So Monique had posted this recently on her Instagram, actually today at 8:22 a.m. and says, the fact that I've been bullied and ridiculed online heavily for the past 4 days, unprovoked, is crazy to me. I don't know why people are so obsessed with my weight and my relationship with Derek. Y'all get on the internet and be fake caring about mental health and protecting Black women, and all I see on these blog sites is a Black man and a Black woman in the comments bullying one another about a Black woman about her weight. This show has filmed months ago. Me and Derek have been together almost 3 years already. He loved it here. And we live in our truth. Love is love. Child. Well, that's not all that they had to say. Derek went ahead and posted this on his Instagram story and says, we appreciate all the love and support. Me and Monique will be going live Friday after this week's episode. So they're going to be live this Friday. So when we do our live show, we're going to be watching them because honey child, they definitely they're definitely giving us that storyline that we all been looking for. And now I want to switch a little bit to Pinky Cole, because yeah, let's switch to Pinky Cole. So I want to play this video for you here, and then we'll talk about it.
What just happened though?
Yeah, see?
It say, hey Pinky, we wanted to send over a huge congratulations on your NAACP nomination for outstanding literary work. Instructional, as announced earlier today. We are so proud to be. Did you know this?
It's news to me. I knew we had submitted you, but it's great.
Yeah.
Wait. Oh wow, man.
Yeah, see? Yeah.
So this is the other screenshot that she played. It says from, hi, Pinky wants a blah, blah, blah. I don't care. Read it for yourself. Okay, so let's just talk about how this is going to be the downfall of Black people. This woman was thoroughly charged with stealing money, allegedly, from her workers. Then wrote this long crybaby speech about what was her. She's got so many businesses and she didn't know people were doing that. And she didn't know that somebody had wrote that into her policy because she doesn't review her own policies for her restaurant managers to give to the servers. So she didn't know where the money went, and people just out here stealing money on her name and she ain't got nothing to do with it. Boo hoo, let me cry. Woe is me. I don't care. Stop celebrating con artists. Just stop. Like, are Black people sick or something? What is wrong with y'all? You sit there and you let this woman crybaby her way out of stealing hundreds of thousands of dollars from her employees, and then you celebrate it by giving her an NAACP nomination. And then the rest of you coons in the comment section congratulating her. Because everything's always a conspiracy theory. And it just can't be that somebody's just a crook. It's always a conspiracy theory to take down the Black man, or take down the Black woman. I don't know. Maybe she's just a crook. Did you ever think of that? Because being a crook is really easy nowadays. And do you know the large-scale operation it's going to take to commit a conspiracy against a woman named Pinky Cole? Or is it easier to surmise that, I don't know, maybe she's just a crook and she just loves money and she just loves stealing from servers? It's that easy. But somehow Black people play mental gymnastics with themselves, turning Rubik's cubes in their brain, trying to explain everything except that maybe Pinky Cole is a crooked restaurateur. And that maybe she was aware that she was siphoning money off of her servers. While she bragged about being a millionaire, but she couldn't even pay her servers an adequate wage. She still wasn't even paying them their proper hourly wage according to the state of Georgia. So regardless if she was even taking the tips from them, she wasn't even giving them hourly pay. So instead of holding her accountable, we sit here and we allow her to get an NAACP award, and the rest of you coons in her comment section congratulating her on it. There's nothing to congratulate her on. She's a crook. She's a crook, an alleged crook, but nonetheless, it's disgusting. And Black people wonder why we can't get nowhere in society. Yeah, because y'all keep congratulating crooks, alleged crooks, and alleged, scammers, until it all just falls down and they become the next, Ashley Grayson or something like that. Y'all will promote and uplift the most crooked people, but when a real Black-owned business needs the help and aid of the community, y'all will dog walk them, because they're not rolling around in Lamborghinis and showing you their luxury apartment with their stainless steel silverware and stainless steel appliances. Because they don't do that, then they're not worth supporting. Y'all need to get right with yourselves, because the sheer fact that this woman even got this far makes me sick to my stomach. If she gets charged and she has to pay these fines, I'm going to make sure that all of you know, first of all, stop supporting her restaurant. If she has to pay these fines back, which could be up to the tune of $1 million worth of back wages. I want most of y'all to know that. So while she's tap dancing at the NAACP Awards, there are servers who didn't get adequate pay, who could have lost their apartments because she was taking their money, lost their dental insurance, lost their health insurance, lost all numbers of things because of this woman. And it's the sheer fact that people are sitting here celebrating her like she should not be celebrated. That she's not one of the good ones. She's not the one you want to celebrate. She's not the one you want to celebrate. Stop celebrating people who do this, because these are your cousins. These are your aunties. These are your uncles. These are people working at her restaurants who she's not paying. She's not anyone to be revered until she atones for what she owes people. There's nothing right about taking money off the top and then tap dancing your way through Atlanta as this vegan chef. You're an alleged crook. And the NAACP, or the whoever these people are, NAACP, should strip you of that nomination, because you're disgusting. You and those 5 people in that car and the person who shot that video breathing really heavy. Stop supporting these businesses like this. Y'all gonna have to give it a rest. It's y'all. It is. It's y'all. I see it every day. We talk about problematic businesses and problematic bloggers and problematic this and problematic that, but y'all still be out here supporting them. I probably get hundreds of people sending me shade room posts every single day after I told people I will block you if you send this to me. Stop sending me stuff from the shade room. I don't trust them. I don't read their publication. I literally have them blocked. Stop sending it to me. Stop supporting these businesses that are doing wrong by your own people. Stop. You're gonna have to give up the ghost, Black people. You're gonna have to give up the ghost, because y'all on that ghost real heavy. Because it's just, I don't know what else to say. I don't know what else. I don't know why no other blogger has said this to y'all over the number of years, but y'all gonna have to give up the ghost. Stop allowing scammers to scam. Okay? And she ain't no different. Okay? Because if the case were different, it would have never made its way through the EEOC. It would have never made its way to the clerk of court's office. Okay? I just need y'all to know that if her scams were, or if she was not doing what people are accusing her of allegedly doing, she would have never gotten that woman's case would have never gotten to the Fulton County Clerk of Courts. Okay? So let's just keep it a stack. This woman is a danger to Black enterprise and small Black businesses. And she's just a detriment to the community that she pretends that she serves. Because if people are not getting their adequate pay, they cannot afford to live in Atlanta. She can, but the people who work for her can't. Okay, let me get some of your comments. Thumbs up. I'll be doing my best. Well, who is she? She goes by the name of Pinky Cole, the slutty vegan. This is from Chelsea says, have you discussed Derek and Monique yet? We have. Did you just get in? Just rewind it a little bit. We already did. This is from Shirley says, speak the truth. I just be trying to tell y'all, because I'm just like, it's the gaslighting for me. I mean, she deleted her post about the no, she didn't. Here it is. Here's her post about the Today Show. Good for the Today Show. I'm glad they canceled you. I'm glad they did. They should have. You're a crook. Allegedly, you're a crook. So good for the Today Show for canceling you. Good. The child is not giving a ledge. It is. This is from Daphne Cunningham says, when did the stealing allegations come out? Maybe the will pull it back. When the stealing, so I guess the server worked there for 3 years. This is what she's alleging. The server worked there for 3 years. And when she got hired on, they told her that they take 25% of your tips. And if you don't like it, you can go work somewhere else. Literally her quote, and she quotes, okay? It was until after she left and acquired another job where she realized, oh, it's illegal for you to take 25% of my tips. Let me go sue them. And that's how that came. Because at first Mayel, now Pinky. Mayel wasn't a scam. It's just they just sold their company to a large company. So I wouldn't call that a scam. This from Life of Vivi says, and the NAACP didn't know about all of this out there. Of course they knew. Of course they knew. This from CRG says, I hope they take it back in a public, loud way. Me too. This from Amber Shelby says, did she get an award after the news happened? She got nominated after it happened, I suppose. But again, I don't know. It's award season. So I feel like she should have known. That video looked really... Hold on. Let me look it up. Oh, it came out today. It did. It came out 9 hours ago. So so she probably made that video today. Yeah, their awards, they submitted, they publicized their nominations today. So that video is today. You said this is awful. Pinky should be ashamed. She should be, but she's not. She's a narcissist. This from GRC says saving animals but hurting human lives. She's got to hurt somebody. She got to hurt somebody. She got to hurt somebody, I guess. This is from Lady Yana says, the fact that she's blaming it on the manager is even more disgraceful. Yeah, like he didn't get training from you. Boss lady, vegan. Crazy. It's crazy. It's crazy. I just don't have any, I don't have any sympathy for people like this. I was talking to a friend of mine last night, a chef friend. We were talking about it, and she said to me, she said, oh no, that's normal. I had to go back and forth with her because I had to get her to understand, like, servers paying a 25% tip to the house, and the house splits that up to the hostess, the dishwasher, busser, doesn't matter. They can do that. What the house cannot do is take it from you. Does that make sense? So if I were serving, okay, and I got to the tip out, right? I got tip out my bartender, I got tip out my busser, I got tip out the dishwasher because he did my dishes. All the house can tell me is, hey, Steph, you owe the bartender 8%, you owe the busser 6%, you owe the dishwasher 2%, right? Of your sales, not your tips. You hear me? Your sales, not your tips. I'm like, okay, so I cut out my tips. I do my percentage. I hand it to the bartender. I hand it to the busser. I hand it to the dishwasher. What you cannot do as the house is snatch it from me. You can't do that. That's where the illegality comes in. That's what makes it illegal. You can't take it from me. All you can do as the house is tell me who I owe. But you cannot take it from me and tell me this is what you owe. You can't do that. That's what you can't do. Okay, it's illegal. It's completely illegal. So they were taking their tips and giving the server the tip out. It's like, I get the tip. I do the tip out. I'm the server. I do the tip out. Not you, me. All you tell me is what the percentage is of the night. Because every restaurant I worked for, the percentage changed every night. So some nights when it was really, really busy, they'll be like, do 1% tip out. right? If it was really, really, really slow, they'd be like, do 4%, right? Because your sales are lower, so do 4%. So that's how they would do it every single time. So you, as the house, cannot take my money and tell me, oh, this is what I'm taking. Here's the rest. You can't do that. That's legal. And even if she didn't know, someone put that policy in place for the manager to tell the servers. The only person who could put that policy in place is the owner. It's the owner. No one else. So she can try to tap dance out of this one, but she's not going to be able to. This from Brenna says, Steph, some people are so enamored by celebrities and money and think that's success, but their greedy egos show up and they cannot believe. Child. And I think that's the part that's just like the most damaging to the Black community, is because we just sit here and we're just like, we're so enamored by money and glory and glitz and glamour that when we look at the underbelly, we're like, oh God. So you were scamming the whole time? And they just don't want to believe it. Nah, believe it. This is from Lady Yana says, because wouldn't she have lawyers to look at those contracts? These are not contracts. It's just hiring servers. So not necessarily. If she creates the policy for the house, that's her policy. There's no contracts. If I own a restaurant, I say, I'm going to hire my server manager and I'm going to hire my bar manager. And when you hire the servers, you tell them 25% tip that you take out. The bar manager and the restaurant manager, they didn't pull that out of thin air. Someone told them to tell their new hire staff that. There's no contracts. There are no contracts. This from Quima says, there was a whole contract. How did she didn't know that there was a contract? It's not normal to keep those tips. What contract are you guys referring to? There's no contract, you guys. When you get hired, you're not hired. These servers are not contracted workers. They're not construction workers. They're employees. So there's no, I don't know if it was a verbal thing or if it was in their employee handbook. Usually small restaurants don't have all that. They really don't, you guys. Like small restaurants do not have all that. It's usually chain restaurants that have all those thick, new hire manuals and shit. But smaller restaurants don't. They'll just take it out of your check. And this from Juliet says, but wasn't there something in writing where it said that the house gets 20? It was her pay stub. It was her pay stub, you guys. It was her pay stub. Or if she was getting credit card receipts, I don't know this, but if she was getting credit card receipts, usually your credit card receipts show up on your paper check at the end of 2 weeks. If she was getting cash every night from her guests who tipped her out, I don't know if they were required to give all of their money to the house and the house take out the 25% and give it back to the server. But there was enough paperwork, right? Whether it be on her pay stub, whether it be verbal, whether it was in a text message, but it was enough for the EEOC to allow this case to go forward. So I don't know where it was. It was probably not in a contract because they know it's illegal. The house knows it's illegal. They know that. So they probably were telling them that verbally, as soon as you get hired, they're probably like, okay, well, it's 25% tip out. We take your tips at the end of the night. We give it back to you. It could have been all kinds of stuff. It could have been through text. It could have been somewhere, but it was enough evidence for that server to give to the EEOC and give it back to them. And they say, you can move forward with this case. So I don't know where the fuck it was, but it was definitely somewhere in writing and they definitely have it. And that restaurateur definitely said it. It's that simple. Okay. It's that simple. It is somewhere in writing. We will know that as soon as this case proceeds forward, because no attorney on God's green earth is going to be like, oh, we got a case, a verbal thing. Okay. Can you prove it? No, I can't prove it. They would have never taken her case. The EEOC would have never let this case go forward. So that girl must have had something. And I'm assuming it's a pay stub where they see a 25% something to the house. And they're like, that doesn't make any sense. Where does that go? Who does that go to? What does it mean 25% house? House what? You're taking 25% of her tips for what? That's illegal. So someone has pushed this case forward, right? That's why the EEOC most certainly gave her the next step to take the case to trial. That's why. So it's not a written contract, you guys. I'm assuming it's something less lenient because people who own small chain restaurants do not have these thick, giant binders. And man, it's usually not like that. Specifically because they are already doing something illegal. There's no way they were going to put that in writing. It was probably something very innocuous on her pay stub, like 25% tip out to the house. And they were like, the only reason why this case went forward is I will guarantee my bottom dollar. When this girl left that restaurant and she went to another restaurant and she talked about that 25% tip out, someone was like, girl, 25%, what? That is illegal. They can't take 25% of that. What are you talking about? And she probably explained it to them. And she probably showed another server friend. And her server friend was like, that's illegal. You need to go and talk to an attorney. Because people are like, well, how did you work there 3 years? You didn't know. She probably didn't know that that was not customary and that was illegal. So someone had to tip her off to be like, you need to go have this looked at, because and I used to be a career server for 10 years. No one has ever taken my tips from me. Ever. I've never worked at a place that ever said, we're going to take your tips and we're going to take 25% of it. We're going to give it back to you. That sounds illegal. It's illegal to ask a server how much they made at the end of the night. That's illegal too. It's illegal. You cannot just ask a server how much they made at the end of the night. It's not your job to ask them that. You violate tons of labor laws. So whatever this 25% thing is, it definitely was in my opinion, without seeing the legal documents, it was probably on her pay stub. That's what made it easy to track. Does that make sense? This is from Lady Yana says, we are saying Pinky knew because it was in writing. Oh, she knew, because she was even if it wasn't in writing, even if it was just on the pay stubs, how did the managers know to even take 25%? How did the restaurant managers even know to take 25%? They wouldn't have, unless somebody told them, hey, take 25% out of the server's checks. Apparently, a lot of people, more people than often do it, which I had no idea. More people than often do it. I had no clue. I had no clue that people who own restaurants was doing this. If you own a restaurant, if your cousin own a restaurant, if your family own a restaurant and if they taken any of their servers' money, tell them they better stop before they go to jail. These are violating labor laws. Do not do that. Do not do that. You can tell the server what the tip out is at the end of the night for the house, but you cannot take their money. You cannot take their money and tell them. You have to allow the server to just give it to you. It has to be voluntary. You have to give it to them. You cannot take your server's money, okay? Because y'all out here, and I talked to a couple of restaurant owners. I'm like, y'all out here wilding. Y'all better stop, and you better quit admitting it in this text message, because what you're doing is illegal. It's crazy illegal. It is. And I saw in her first post, I saw a lot of chefs sweating, honey. I saw a lot of chefs in the comments sweating. Y'all better quit doing it. You better change your policy right now, because you're going to go to jail. You're going to go to jail. The labor department going to shut you down. You better stop playing with them people. Stop taking your servers' money. Just tell them what the tip out is. And it is not 25% of their tips. Ignorance, not you guys, but the restaurant owners who are doing that. It is 2.5% of their total sales. That's what it is. It's not 25% of their tips. You cannot take 25% of somebody's tips. Are you smoking crack? It is 2.5% of the total sales. Every time a server rings up a steak, a cocktail, a dessert, it goes to their total sales at the end of the night. And most servers will rack up anywhere between $3,000 and $4,000 worth of sales. So it's 2.5% of their sales. That is what their tip out is. The fact that there are restaurant owners in her comment section talking about, I take 25%. You should be in jail. You should be under a jail. And every single server who's out there who works for any of those restaurateurs who are in her comment section on this specific post, you need to go to the EEOC yesterday, because this is ridiculous. And this is all Black restaurants. It's crazy. It's crazy. I said, y'all out here taking 25% of your servers' tips. This is from Nikki Williams says, I didn't know how tip outs were paid. When I worked at the casino, the dealer pooled their tips and they made good money. 4 dealers would split $5,000 in tips. That's one night. Yes, tip pooling is different. So those dealers, they have to tip out the servers. Because you know how like at some casinos, that you get free like well drinks, like you get free domestic beer and well drinks, then they would tip out their server. So if the dealers made in their tips, right? Let's just say $25,000 is, and it's hard to do it with sales, but let's just say they just would tell them to do 1% of their tip out. Cause I don't think they would do it by sales because they're not selling anything, but the house could say, pay 1% of your tip out to the servers. Now, granted, most casinos have tons and tons and tons of dealers. So servers would make really, really, really good money just taking 1% of their tip out from a bunch, right? We're talking about 45, 50 dealers. So servers would make a really, really, really good money. Plus the tip out that they already get from the people at the tables. So yes, but the house, the casino, Nikki, could not touch that money. All they could do is just go up to the dealers and be like, all right, you guys, tonight's tip out is 3% of your tip. Okay? Don't give it to me. Just give it to the servers. And that's how they would do it. So if there's 5 servers that night, right, they would take 3% of their tip out. And let's just say, for example, it was $500. Then they would each give the servers $100 each. But the house would never touch that money. All the house can do is tell you the percentage. Money can't touch their hands. Does that make sense? They can just be like, hey, that's the tip out tonight. Make sure you pay your servers. That's it. Night done. But the fact that there's Black restaurant owners out here literally taking 25% of their servers' tips, my mind was blown when I saw that. My mind was blown. This from Jazzy Old Lady says, do people know where tips originated from? Look it up. You'd be really, yeah, I know where they originate from. I do. This from Ashley Wiley says, for the past couple of years, I've always Cash App my waiters. Look, sometimes you got to. Sometimes you got to. This from Queen Daly says, as a former server, this case really chapped my hind parts. My last year serving in was pregnant. So giving 25% of my tips would have crippled this single mama. I couldn't even imagine giving. Sometimes giving a bartender 2% was a lot to me. I was like, 2%. You know what I mean? But I did it because that's what I had to do. But look, Pinky, get your life right immediately. Get your life right. Just get your life right. And NAACP, snatch that nomination from her. Snatch it immediately. Right now, snatch it from her. And if you don't snatch it from her, that's bogus. You're bogus and you're supporting, you don't support the working class people. You support rich people who skim stuff off the top. But that's all that I have for you guys today. So before you go, I wanted to make sure that you guys register for our event on Nosy Bystanders tomorrow. Tomorrow we're going to be doing an early show because we got to come back here for the after show, right? The after show is us simply just watching. Hold on one second. Let me pull it up for you. Simply just watching Love After Lockup. So I'm going to put a link here below, and then I'll pin it at the top of this stream here. We're going to be watching Love After Lockup live. We pay for the account, so you don't have to. So please make sure you just support our network, you guys, and just come and watch. We're also going to be doing the live show. So if you guys didn't know, Derek and Monique stated that they're going to be going live after the show so that we can all discuss and watch. Let me pull it up for you guys here. So Derek and Monique said that they're going to be going live on Instagram. So we're going to be watching that right here at the Nosy Bystanders, honey, because we got to get all the tea. Okay, so I am your host, Chief Nosy Bystander. We'll be back tomorrow. Wait, yes, we'll be back tomorrow here at the Nosy Bystanders at 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern, and then 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern for the Love After Lockup next episode. So we're going to be here on YouTube, and then you're going to take that link and we're going to be right back on Uscreen or Roku. So I'm excited because I just can't wait to watch. I'm so excited. Rest in peace, Lisa Marie Presley. Yeah, I saw that earlier today. May her soul rest in peace. May her soul rest in peace. But I'll see you guys tomorrow. Thank you again for watching Nosy Bystanders Live. Smash the like button on the way out. Don't be ignorant. And I am your host, Chief Nosy Bystander. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye-bye.